The views and opinions expressed by the guests and contributors on Conklin and Company are not necessarily those of 13 ABC. Now, Conklin and Company continues with Take 3, commentary and analysis from our panel of political contributors.
Welcome back, everyone. Take 3 now. Good to have London Mitchell and Skylar Meadows back on the program. We've had a couple of weeks off for both of you now, so loaded for bear. First of all, I want to tie in segment 1 with segment 3 with London, who apparently you have some history with Jim Weber.
Oh, yeah, Jim and I go way back. Jim and I worked together at a radio station back in, geez, it has to be the late 1960s. We started in radio together. He was doing play-by-play, I think, for Sylvania High School.
Right. No, not Northview, Southview then.
Yeah, and I was spinning records and
Real
reading
records.
the news.
Yeah.
You remember what records are?
Yes, vinyl.
Vinyl, that's right.
Right.
And also, Diane, we want to mention Lucas County's special Olympians, as London working with Lucas County MRDD, right?
Yeah.
And you have 2 representatives?
Got 2 athletes going from Lucas County to the National Games.
And they went to the National Games, right?
Went to the National Games. They're winding up this weekend.
Right.
We have Chris Sanner, who is a cyclist, and he cycles dozens, and he cycles more than you run. Okay. And we also have Jim Jackson, who is on the Team Ohio softball team, and they're down there even as we speak.
Okay, that's the National Games.
At Princeton.
Right, and the Ohio Games are coming up here.
Ohio Games are coming up
as we speak.
54 athletes from Lucas County will be going.
Fantastic. Okay, so you have 2 for the National Games, 54 down in Columbus.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring that up. Okay, now speaking of Columbus, the man who holds the highest elected office in the state is John Kasich, and let the race begin with the signage into law of what is it, 310? 310, I believe,
310.
Which puts a kind of a cap on the renewable energy, the mandate of renewable energy. Maybe you can flesh this out for us, Skylar. And this opens the door, perhaps, Ed Fitzgerald hopes it does, for what could be a hot button issue come election time.
So Governor Kasich signed into law SB 310, and last week with no fanfare. Yeah, no press release. But anyway, it's a 2-year cap right now, or a 2-year freeze on what's going on with renewable energy and energy sources. And we are apparently the first state in the United States to have the governor sign. Indiana just let their governor let the bill just walk on through, so he didn't really sign, but Kasich has signed on this. So it takes away jobs, and we basically roll back the clock on energy efficiency and renewable energy or clean energy usage.
And London, John Kasich might say this is about helping out businesses here. I mean, what is this, the path forward behind this?
I don't know if it's the path forward, but I think it gives us a good maybe peek into the future as to where these 2 candidates, Kasich and Fitzgerald, are going to build their campaigns. The line in the sand. What are national issues for the Republican Party? Well, environment. What are some of the issues for the Democrats on the national scene? And I think when you look at state, Kasich is following pretty much the party line, favoring business, putting the environment on the back burner.
But what would be the point of doing so if we were a forerunner, if it takes away jobs, because Governor Kasich is the man with the plan and is touting all these jobs that have been created? And the second piece of it is, if you freeze it, but then you convene a study, you're still spending money to try to figure out what to do with energy. So what is this 2 years really about?
I'm not sure that I can debate that part, other than to say, I think the perception is, if you look at the headlines, that he's kind of put a cap on issues that would be pro-environment. And I think that's the perception that is out there. I don't know that I saw any of the headlines say X number of jobs are going to be taken away by this, but we did see a lot of things, headlines that would say red light put on environment, issues.
Right. Well, that's Fitzgerald's mantra going forward, that it will cost jobs.
Right, because you don't need auditors anymore. Yeah, is that the right auditors, renewable energy auditors, and other people? You don't need mid-level people to monitor what's going on in renewable energy. But you know what? You bring up a good point, London. So is this Kasich doing this touting the party line on the state level because he's running for re-election, or is this Kasich ramping up for 2016, trying to get in
bigger
good,
office.
bigger office?
Yeah,
Just a thought.
I wouldn't put it past him, but I think we're far enough out from the election where the candidates can actually test where their support is,
Right.
get their message tested, because we now know who the two major candidates are. So I think that.
But my question is about environment. Can environment, in the end, be a major issue in a campaign? Can the environment become a major issue? I mean, up here, truly.
It can, but it depends on who the audience is and what the litmus test is for. Like, you know, if you're touting the party line, and like in Lucas County, we have this problem where we don't even go by the platforms of the parties anyway. We're still stuck on what the Board of Elections is doing or not doing. But if you know what the platform is for the party and environment's up there and you're going party line, you might agree with that, rather. But if not, if you're just Joe or Joe at a voter, do you care about the environment other than recycling?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't think so. Lee, I think it's so complicated an issue that people can say, well, I'm pro-environment or I'm not, but most people don't have the background to be able to, I think, really discuss it. I think the big issue for Kasich and Fitzgerald is going to be jobs and the economy. I think Kasich, whenever you see him, has the numbers that he just rattles out about how many people have gotten jobs, that the jobless rate has gone down when he's been in office, and I think that's what he's going to focus on over and over and over again.
So maybe not the environment head on, but as an adjunct, because Fitzgerald can obviously say jobs will be taken away because of this bill. So the environment, you might not care about that, but we care about jobs, and we're going to pay more. The Cleveland Plain Dealer expressed the amount, 82, I think $120, somewhere in there, that each person will pay for utility bills. More. We don't want to pay more. We have the highest rates already.
Well,
so I think he could dig into that.
If he can get the message out that it does translate to your pocketbook,
right,
in the bottom line, then maybe it becomes, a little higher up the ladder on the issue.
It just depends where those jobs are. Those white-collar jobs, those blue-collar jobs.
Well,
and I think it could be who relates and which candidate is going to be able to get people to come to the polls. Who's going to be able to turn out the voters? The voting record in the state is so low.
It's horrible.
Okay,
It
last
is
word,
horrible.
Skylar. Last word.
It's horrible. We need to vote.
Didn't think we'd do 8 minutes on Fitzgerald Kasich, but we have, and there's plenty more to come in the weeks and months ahead. London Mitchell, great to have you on again, London.
Thanks.
And Skylar Meadows.
Thank
Make it
you.
a good Sunday to you and to you. We'll see you all this coming week on 13 ABC Action News. And that will do it for this edition of Conklin & Company. Thanks, everybody.